Since the dawn of time, people look to the stars. So, basically Greeks invented comedy. The world was very depressing before that drunk twats, but can we know who exactly invented it? Surprisingly, yes, it was this guy, Aristophanes. Don't question me, it basically the guy. So back in the day, Greeks had this big ass event where they would drink themselves to half death. No wonder it was called after Dionysus, the god of booze and drunken shenanigans. Oh yeah, and also theater and fertility. So back to Greeks. Basically, every year they had these booze outs mixed with theater. Up until this time, the more popular were dramas and tragedies mixed with some lyrical poems. And here comes our boy, Aristophanes. And instead of talking about times long past, he starts shitting on current events. So he was basically doing whatever today's stand-up comics do. He was even sued for slander, at least once. And yes, as you can guess, his very next performance was targeted at the guy who sued him. Bro also kinda doubled in a fourth wall breaking, like dressing up his backup dancers in bird costumes and making them threaten the judges with being shot on unless he won the Dionysia festival. Back when the Greeks were based. Romans were like, nice place Greeks, we're gonna take those and make them better. So they took Greek comedies and made them bloodier and louder. Basically, their plays were filled with slaves outsmarting their masters, mistaken identities, and, of course, fart jokes. So these were essentially the very first sitcom tropes, centuries before Friends. Now, let's jump to the Middle Ages. As you know, there were kings at the time, and kings had jesters. Father of this exact one was a big fan of Balatro, so he called his son after one of the legendary jokers. So his son, Tribule, was an excellent jester. Bro was just too based sometimes. Once he slapped king on his ass and evaded execution, saying that he mistook him for a queen. Some gotcha ass move, I would say. The other time, the king decided to execute him for making fun of a queen, but in a fit of kindness, he decided to give him a choice, how he want to go. And Tribule was like, oh, I want to die of old age. King laughed so hard, he let him leave. Bro pulled a literal no meme. Okay, back to comedy as a genre. After Middle Ages, there were a cultural resurrection in Europe. You might even say it was a renaissance. Let's talk about Commedia dell'arte. It's improvised comedy theater. Basically a bunch of preordained stock characters playing comedic bits. Usually, half boomers suck and spoil everything. These characters were usually one-dimensional and wore masks, so audience knew what they represented. Doesn't it remind you of something? Just look at this. I'm gonna represent myself as a Chad Pulcinella and you as a Wojciech Pantalone. Yeah, people don't truly change. Also, that's where slapstick comedy comes from. You see this scene? That's a slapstick. You just take it and hit somebody. Now you're more knowledgeable. Also, a small tangent. Goddamn Genshin Impact spoiled Commedia dell'arte characters. For some characters, you'll get mostly this anime crap in your search. But okay, I guess. Now, let's move a bit in the future. The smell of smog and ghettos for poor people. If it isn't the Industrial Revolution, with steam engines and black lungs that come with them, we gained a whole new capability to create mass-printed magazines. So this is Punch, basically a Victorian version of the Onion. And yes, it is named after a mask from our previous theme. They also created the word cartoon. That's what they called the comics they made. They made fun of bureaucracy, aristocracy, and the worst of them, women. Of course, they had many more themes, but change aristocracy to people in power and you got a solid list for jokes even today. I say, these workers protesting their hunger, can't they just eat something? If you're homeless, just buy a house. Anyway, this scene lived for like 150 years and was only closed in 2002. Let's stay in this time a bit longer. There was this guy, William Calcraft, occupation chief hangman, claimed to have executed around 450 people. He preferred older methods, so people would suffer more pain. But while he was doing this, he was cracking jokes and sipping brandy. That's how he became somewhat of a celebrity, amassing up to 30,000 people for his executions. Bruh, imagine a full-on football stadium with the gallows in the middle, people doing the whole wave scene, while the executioner Fortnite dances near your suffocating body. Man, they should bring this crap back. This shit is gas. Anyway, that's it. No more comedy for us. Now everything is serious and corporate. Wait, who are you?
I am Rabbi Tuckman, purveyor of sacramental wine and moil extraordinaire.
A moil?
Moil, he's a very important guy. Makes circumcision.
I'll take two. Okay, not everything is lost. This rabbi is Mel Brooks, one of the best parody makers.
Fagalith?
He's kinda like Weird Al, but in cinematography. Who is Weird Al Yankovic, you may ask? He's like Mel Brooks, but in music. Parody and satire, both high effort silliness and constant breaking of the fourth wall. Look, it's him! Wait, I know this scene. Isn't this a scene from a Naked Gun? Okay, I concede. Comedy in the 20th century isn't dead, but actually thriving. I do hope that everything will stay the same. Sadly, comedy as a genre has died. But we have a replacement for all those artists. We call them politicians. Look, my own president is a former comedian. He even played piano with his cock live on TV. The US president is not far from it too. Sadly, his filming career flopped after that one Home Alone role. But they do try to entertain us with all their acts. It's good to live in a time when you have something to laugh at, because there's nothing left to do but laugh. Okay guys, now I'm depressed. Gonna go count drones to sleep. Bye.